Welcome, everyone, to the next session of Dresden Files Las Vegas. We've got a couple new faces today. That's great. And so, first, let's start off with we have a new player. Well, a new character.
Yes, hello. I'm Travis, and my character is Ashton Hughes. Do you want me to do like a little summary?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, I mean, honestly, it's probably easiest just to go through his aspects. Everything. So my character is a wereform character, is a working class were snake. His backstory is that he was doing a tour guide in one of the was it the Red Rock Canyon area, the La Madre Mountain, and wandered off, or was tracking a wandered off guy and got bitten by a rattlesnake, and was found by Annette Stein and saved through magic. This magic enabled him to turn to a snake, as she taught him and brought him up to speed on the supernatural side of things. Before then, he was just a standard mortal. Let's see. Do we also go over like his side stories?
Sure, yes.
Okay. So, I guess before then, I did that other story just to sort of go into like how he knows the supernatural. Before then, he ended up in Vegas because he was trying to save up money for trade school, but he ended up getting involved in a sketchy get-rich-quick scheme and predictably lost all his money and is now in debt to certain loan sharks. And he's been working in Vegas ever since. One story is that he met Ian Khan and sort of became friends with him. But one day, Ian saw Domingo Cortez in bat form feeding off a patient, and Ashton tries to bring him up to speed on the supernatural side of the world. But later, on the next day, Ian is found unconscious and no longer has his memories. Wonder what happened there.
Mm-hmm. So this is where I want to pause for a second. I was going to have Elizabeth show up in that story, and Elizabeth can still show up in that story, but I also think that Connor Cash Clemens might have something to say about that story. What did he do when his boyfriend passed out and lost a month of time?
So, hang on, can you repeat the story? Because I heard it, but it didn't fully click.
Sure, no problem. So I'll just read it in the exact text that we have. When
All
Ian
right.
Khan witnesses Domingo Cortez feeding off of a patient in the hospital, Ashton attempts to bring Ian up to speed on the darker side of the world. But will he succeed when Ian is found unconscious the next day, only to wake up with no memories of Ashton nor the past few months?
Oh, shit. Poor Ian. I already know because Connor's immediately going to be worried sick about him, obviously. But oh, wait, he has no idea it's Domingo, does he? Or maybe
We don't necessarily know where this story happens. We know it happens before you get bitten.
this could be the catalyst or something. Because yeah, it could be. If you find the guy who did this, let me know. I need to break his neck. Yeah, that's pretty much what he'd be like. No one fucks with Ian.
So you appear in the story, and I'm guessing you're promising Ashton all the help he needs to try to figure out who or what did this to him.
Oh fuck yeah, man!
I like that.
It's like you don't fuck with Ian. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts?
I'm sorry, I wasn't entirely listening to what Patrick said because I was helping Monica with something on her character sheet.
I'm sorry, I distracted her.
It's absolutely fine. I'm okay with those kinds of distractions. It was talking about Ashton's story. Your character was scheduled to show up in it. Connor and damn it, what's his name? Connor and Lorelai
was in it, and you told me what she did. What is the Cliff Notes version of what Connor did?
Well, seeing as it's his boyfriend, he basically promises Ashton any kind of help and support he needs if he can get to the bottom of what happened to his boyfriend, and will totally go around and beat faces in if need be.
Okay. I guess the only thing that necessarily has been coming to mind is basically trying to use Lucky and her connections with the Fae to see if they might be of assistance with the mental magic, because she knows that the fairies are a little more flexible on doing mental magic, whereas the White Council is like, no, it's evil, never do it.
Okay, yeah, no, you try to make a deal with the people of Arcadia to try to help get Ian some of his memory back.
Yeah.
All right, I like that.
Cool.
So you have to strike a deal. You also likely, in doing that, hear whispers that the group responsible for this is likely known as the Lethe Society. They're known as a what's it called? As a rumor. They tend to avoid the Fae. And the Fae tend to let them be avoided because they don't really interact much. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Seems like a good story.
I like it.
Yep. Heather,
Yes.
I know you were thinking about doing some changes to the character. Your character. I wanted to know what you had settled on.
What we had discussed yesterday.
Okay, but I am not the rest of the group.
Okay. She's not true faith anymore. She's just crazy.
She's a minor talent who has something similar to Cassandra's tears, a sort of prophetic gift. Correct?
Yes.
All right.
So not Eddie's brand of crazy. It's like magically induced crazy.
Not Eddie's brand of crazy, no. Those stories of Eddie are still told.
I don't know if stories of Eddie have reached Las Vegas yet.
No, I just mean they're never mind.
Fort
You mean
Nellis
what?
probably has stories about Eddie, but you know.
No, nothing's going on in Nellis. Don't pay no attention to the men behind the curtain.
Yeah.
All right. So, this would be where news stories would be read. So, we don't have any new news stories, but I don't think that everyone here heard the old news stories. So we have one. I'm going to give out chips for things. If someone wants to do the recap, they can get a chip of what happened last game. And if someone wants to read the news stories on the what's it called, Obsidian Portal, out loud to everyone again, they can get another chip for that.
Do you have like the cards of all the different like portraits we have available that I can look through? What has been done?
Oh, I mean, if you just, it's probably be better if you just do an image search. But if you absolutely need the cards, I'll pull some out. I think. Let
Okay.
me see.
I mean, if everyone's doing the image search, that's fine. I don't think
Oh,
it's
here's.
per se.
All right, so there should be a mailed NPC deck there for you to look at.
Yes.
Can you see that, Travis?
Yes.
All right. So Manfree is in roll 20. Patrick and Monica are in roll 20. Here, Ashton, are your 5 fate chips. I'm putting them on your temporary face.
Yes.
One second, I'll be back. Sorry, 1 second. I apparently need to do a thing and share a thing with people. I've been very, very stingy, and I've been terrible. Please forgive me.
Do you have like anything to filter out stock photos with like their watermark plastered all over them? Because I'm getting a lot of those.
Yeah, anything to filter out what?
Stock photos with the watermark plastered all over them.
Nope. Those are just the stock photos I have. You can look online.
That's
Feel
what I'm
free
doing.
to
That is
Google
what I'm doing.
search.
Yeah. That's what I meant in the context of Google searching.
Oh no, it's you. Admittedly, most like there a few of the photos we have even here actually do have watermarks on them.
Okay.
It's it's not that noticeable when they're that small as icons. All right.
Okay. That's fair.
Someone's dropping bowls in our hallway. So I've created a channel for document links, and I've posted something in there.
Thank you.
No problem. All right.
Connor has a fancy crown on his character.
What?
On Roll20, there's a fancy crown.
Yes, it's because he was last session's MVP.
Oh, okay.
That's the mark that says he can't be this next session's MVP.
I see.
Ah, that's a good idea. Because, yeah, if you don't do that, then one player might be MVP
Yeah.
multiple times.
No way of doing it. That's the tracking method I came up with. Anyway, so MVP comes with this nifty little thing and a fate chip. That's what MVP gets. Anyway, speaking of fate chips, who would like to do a recap on what happened last session? Please, everyone, don't speak at once.
I mean, I wasn't here, so.
And I know we're all used to me doing it, but my recap of last session was rolling bubble wrap, so.
I'm currently trying to remember, so.
I have terrible memory. I remember some major events, but that's about it.
You weren't here for it, Travis. Oh wait, yes you were. You were listening.
I was
Give me
listening.
1 second.
So you're going to take it, Steph?
Yes, I'm just finishing my thought to Monica on aspects.
All right.
Yeah, literally the only thing I remember is the giant social combat. I have good memory. Yeah. No, I fucking.
Okay. So last session was the opening of LeBlanc's. Each of the PCs was invited to the party through some means. So there was some socializing, talking with various NPCs that were attending the party. Kind of the main, I guess, thing that got everyone on edge was the Drapers showing up, because they are known to be part of the Red Court, which no one likes because they're terrible, horrible monsters. But basically through kind of talking with them, it's like, okay, they don't seem to be up to anything. And then towards the end, the oh so wonderful and beloved Magnus Coronado showed up, attempting to crash the party with his gaggle of daughters. He wished for Regina to basically kowtow and kiss the ring, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Regina really wasn't inclined to do that, so we ended up in social combat. The way combat ended up working, mostly for the new players that were not there, was making lots of dice rolls to put aspects on the situation to allow Connor to make an intimidation roll and use all of the free tags that were generated on our aspects that we had created so that he could do an extremely high stress hit to Magnus in order to take him out. Once game mechanic wise he was taken out, since he owned the scene of how he was taken out, with some conditions on it, but
Do you remember what the condition you put on there was?
I had said it was basically that his air of control needed to kind of crack a bit to sort of show his gaggle of daughters that maybe daddy isn't as nice as they seem to think. So he basically grabbed Regina and threw her across the room. And then kind of realized that he was in public and made a tactful retreat. Now, because it was social combat, if he had wanted to get into a physical altercation, that would have been something that could have happened, but didn't in this instance.
Yeah.
So after he left, everyone checked on Regina, made sure that she was okay, and then her, Elizabeth, and Trixie kind of gathered up all of the PCs and then the different NPCs that came to her assistance in the conflict, into the kind of back poker room that's at the club. So everybody kind of sat down and basically discussed that, I want us to all be allies. We're here to take out Magnus. We can only do it if we work together. Regina, as a show of faith in everyone, gave her true name.
At least part of her true name. It might not have been her full true name.
Okay. Basically kind of explaining that, she had had a group of individuals that were her allies in New Orleans, and while they had issues among themselves, of course, when they worked together, we were able to accomplish great things. I think we kind of ended with sort of everyone agreeing that, we were going to try and work together. Richard Mallon and the Mr. and Mr. Draper were also in and willing to work with the group as allies, hence why they are currently under the current allies section.
Mm-hmm.
Did I forget anything?
Connor apologized to Richard Mallon after the big mistake he made, which earned him a butt ton of credit and likely the MVP spot. That and his actual dealing the knockout verbal punch to Magnus. That was an important thing that happened.
Yes, because Connor did a bad thing at a fight at Mallon's hotel.
Yes. He pulled the Mike Tyson. He Mike Tyson'd that bitch. Like, bit the dude's ear clean off. And then he attacked the referee because he went crazy with bloodlust because he'd been recently turned into a Red Court vampire.
Yay, Red Court.
Mm-hmm. Admittedly, that's probably something that Velia definitely knows about. There was a huge dust up at the big fight, and that Richard Mallon was wanting to hold, and that was a large bit of egg on his face. But Connor, first thing when he saw Richard Mallon was he walked up to this guy and apologized. Richard Mallon accepted his apology, and not only accepted his apology, but said once he gets done with all of his crap, there's a spot for him. So, Manfrey kept calling everyone Moolies, or by everyone I mean Connor and the Drapers. It was fantastic. I'm gonna give you a chip there, Steph, right there on your face. On your face.
Thank
Well,
you.
they are.
They are Moolies. I know. They're Moolies. You're a racist gypsy. You can't help but being racist. It's just how you were raised.
At least we're not pikeys.
Yes.
Ooh.
So,
I love you, Stephen.
so we're going to actually start from sort of where everything ended. Oh yes, and Trixie. You forgot to introduce Trixie.
Oh yes, Trixie is the head of security at LeBlanc's. Security is a bunch of well-dressed men, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, they're all men. They all have sunglasses on, and they all have earpieces.
Did you want me to read the news as well?
Yes, please. Please read the news.
Okay.
Oh, please tell everyone where they can find the news.
So, as a recap for those that were not here last week, on the Obsidian portal for the Las Vegas game, if you go to the front page, you will see a lovely picture of the Las Vegas sign. And then if you look underneath the overview, the status quo, the groups, the locations, and all that information, you will see a picture of the Las Vegas sun. Underneath that, it has drop downs for the current news stories, and then at the very bottom is the button for the history of stories that have been in the newspaper. The news stories are things that are are actually available in game to the characters. So feel free to take any information provided in these and run with it in character.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else, or should I start?
No, feel free to start.
Okay.
Oh, does anyone? Actually, is there anyone who's having any problem figuring out where these news stories are?
No.
All right. Anyone else have any issues? Speak now, forever hold your peace. All right.
Okay. What's up with Nellis? Welcome back, loyal listeners and truth seekers. This is your ever dutiful host, Alan Upton, asking the questions everyone else refuses to ask. This week's focus is on Nellis Air Base and what secret government projects they are testing out there. Now, longtime listeners of the show will know that this isn't the first time that Nellis has been on my radar with their supposed stealth ships and their large deliveries and cargo planes flying out under cover of night, or even the reports of prisoners being ferried through without any official paperwork being filed. I tell you, Seekers, your beautiful lot of human existence that refuses to be led astray like the rest of the sheep who blindly believe that their government always has their best interest in mind and never sends citizens to dark sites where they never escape from. I tell you, the only reason they haven't come for me yet is they know that when they haul me off, all you truth seekers will know that they are out for all of us. General Dunbar might want to think he can just do whatever he wants, and the big government will make sure no one else knows. But we know. We will find out. This is America, damn it. We will not be led to our deaths like lamb to the slaughter. This has been Alan Upton, signing off for this week, Truth Seekers.
And I have put up the pictures of Alan Upton and General Dunbar, just there. Big pictures, just for reference for who they are there. So, on to the next story.
Malin cleared by Fight Commission. Never has the term blood sport been more applicable. The investigation of last week's bloody brawl in Bastille's boxing ring between hopefuls Connor Cash Clemens and Zach
Blitzkrieg.
Zeal will. The fight was going well between the two hopefuls till Zeal managed to land a lucky blow on Clemens's chin in the third round, knocking Clemens to the mat. Clemens, who had seemed very off his game after his supposed abduction that had postponed the fight, popped off the mat and pounced on Zeal, biting the man before savagely attacking the referee, who tried to get into the way. Security managed to eventually pin down Clemens, and he was ejected from the fight. The commission has ruled that neither the Bastille nor Richard Malin were involved and took all appropriate action to ensure the fighter's safety. When reached for contact, Malin said, "Sometimes winning can seem like everything, and the only thing that is important. I am sure Mr. Clemens did not intend for things to go this way, but it is obvious something snapped. Perhaps it was simply stress from his recent kidnapping. Perhaps it was some substance he has been using to enhance his performance. Either way, it has nothing to do with myself, my casino, or any of my other operations in or outside of the city."
All right, and there are the pictures of those three guys who were pictured in the story. Now on to the next story.
A slice of the Big Easy comes to paradise. A bit of Dirty South and the Big Easy are making their way to the City of Lights. Regina LeBlanc, founder and co-owner of Club Wonderland in New Orleans, Louisiana, is bringing some southern charm and hospitality to our fair city with the opening of her newest venture, LeBlanc's. LeBlanc's is said to be a trendy but friendly night spot for both locals and tourists. After many tragedies and setbacks in New Orleans, I have decided a change of venue is for the best. Wonderland is doing fine, and my business partner is fully capable of handling everything while I am away. But I want to bring a portion, the same kind of unique excitement and experience that only the good old city of New Orleans can ever truly offer.
All right. So those are the news stories. So, is everyone still here?
I'm here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nope, I've fallen into a pit and died.
Oh, god damn it, we need to rescue Steph. Eventually, but first game. After all, I'll need resurrection magic if she's already died. Okay, so...
Well, if she's died, then that makes it easier for me to talk to her.
I mean, I suppose. So, we last ended, everyone had been called back in there. There was a little hesitance with everyone with the Drapers, but that kind of got settled out when Connor basically accused them of fucking kidnapping him, and they said, no, that was the other guy. Yeah, you may have saw me there, but yeah. Wasn't me. Everyone seemed to believe him, which is good. But you had all just stuck together and basically told Magnus Coronado to get the fuck out. It's probably the first place in Vegas he's been kicked out of in a while. So, at the end of last session, it ended with the first formalization of their group with a toast. All right? So, that the toasts that went down, Regina toasted to Vegas. Lucky, who kind of got shanghaied all into this, because he was just like sitting in the poker room when Trixie's goons came in and started clearing everyone out. Toasted to luck because we're obviously going to need it. Trixie toasted to doing the best thing for everyone, and seemed to break up a little bit about that. She definitely got a little misty-eyed, and I believe Elizabeth tried to comfort her.
Yes.
Yes, Elizabeth comforted her. I think you could probably see that Regina was giving her a knowing nod also, and Lucky giving her a look while he's there. But yes, then I believe Richard Draper toasted to settling bad blood. Liana Draper.
Richard Mallon.
Oh, sorry, Victor Draper. Victor Draper toasted to settling bad blood. Liana Draper toasted to finding a home. Or finally building a home. Velia did not say anything, but simply raised the glass. Elizabeth, what did you toast to?
Taking down the house.
Elizabeth toasted to taking down the house. Manfrey, what did you toast to?
New beginnings.
To new beginnings. Or a fresh start, I believe. New beginnings, fresh start was he did. I believe Lorelei toasted to, I believe, do you remember what she toasted to? Steph?
I don't know.
No, it's slipping my mind. I think she toasted to basically kicking the Reds out. or kicking out, or just to otherwise, clearing the area of sons of bitches, basically, in a lot nicer words. Connor didn't know what to toast to, and Richard Mallon suggested to victory, and Connor accepted that. Which leads us to the three people there. Now, so Angela, Lyra, and Ashton, you are all there. Ashton, you were there. You were an amorphous blob, and you toasted to undefined liquid because
Yes.
we hadn't done your character. That's going to need to be refined because you are no longer undefined liquid.
Very well.
What would Ashton toast to?
Ashton would toast to a safer and more prosperous community. How about that?
To a better to a safer community. All right. You can see you see both Richard Mallon and Victor Draper kind of give you nods. Like, these two people were totally at each other's throat the whole fucking night, but both of them seem to be like, yeah, that's exactly what we want. It's almost like they actually might get along once they stop fucking hating each other. All right?
Okay.
So, I'm going to turn to Angela. So, Angela, you there?
I'm just gonna second Ashton's motion.
You're just going to second? Okay. Too safe. You're not going to do anything else? All right. Okay. So, Lear also raises a toast. Everyone drinks down the stuff, even Patricia, who's totally not 21 yet, but Regina didn't seem to give a shit when she gave her, the glass and put liquor in it, because they're about to take down her dad, and she's not going to begrudge the 19-year-old girl who is actually their head of security a drink in this thing. But so then Regina kind of goes, very well. So, before we go, as I mentioned, there was a table in New Orleans that I had that would bind oaths. I think that might be something that we should do here right now. And so she kind of reaches down and pulls out a little dagger. And you see her take the dagger and run it across her palm, and you see pink blood start welling up in her palm. And then she takes the blood and, to Lucky's utter horror, places her bloody hand down on the fresh, clean, new green felt of the poker table. Everyone just see Lucky's eyes as they just go wide, and he's like, no! She kind of looks at him, is like, problem? He's like, no, it's your club, do what you want.
It's okay, we can get it reupholstered, sweetie.
She's like, it's so she goes, she's like, she takes the knife and she pulls out a handkerchief and she wipes the knife clean of her blood, and then she hands it over towards Lorelei. And Lorelei takes it, she looks at Richard gives her a nod, and she takes her hand and cuts her hand and marks her blood on the table, then wipes it off and passes it to Richard Mallon, and Richard takes it, cuts his blood, and puts it on the table. And you can kind of I want everyone to make either I want everyone here to make me empathy checks modified by your alertness. So how this works is you're going to look for both skills on your character sheet, empathy being the primary one and alertness being the secondary one, and you're going to compare where they are on your pyramid. If your empathy is lower than your alertness, you will roll empathy at +1. If your empathy is higher than your alertness, you'll roll empathy at -1. If they're on the same level, there is no change. Does everyone understand that?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
This is how rolls usually go. There can be rolls that either benefit or restrict or otherwise just modify. Modify means it can go up or down. This one means it could go either way. So Steph's got a 5. That's good.
I forget how to roll /RDF or
Slash
something.
RDF. There should be a fate roll button down in the left-hand corner underneath everyone's fate chip totals.
Hmm.
I might be blind, but I don't think I see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
It's really
All right.
small in the corner under Brandon's name. It's just a straight box.
It might not be appearing for everyone. There are sometimes it has problems like that.
Well, I think you may also need to go into collections and actually show it in the micro bar.
I mean, I have that there of show in bar, but
Yeah, but not everybody may have it checked.
oh yes. All right, so yes. On Roll20 in the collections there is a check mark that says show macro quick bar. You will need to have that checked in order for the macro to show up there.
Then you have to select fate roll to be in bar. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to look over, because yes, it may be there, but if it's not checked, it won't show up.
That's super handy.
Okay, this is gonna sound dumb, but I've never used Roll20 before. What do I type in when it says "What are you rolling for"?
The
Oh,
skill
4
is
for the
rolling,
number of
so
dice.
Sympathy, investigation, alertness, whatever it is.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah.
sort of going to prompt before your roll what you're rolling for, just so sort of helps you remember what roll you just did, and so that the GM can also look, oh, they chose that option. Like if the
okay.
GM's like, you can roll alertness or investigation, they'll be able to easily see, oh, she rolled alertness, she rolled investigation, and it's just there to sort of help everyone remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Heather. Like Manfred said, he rolls for 4. So
No, you roll 4 dice, because when it asks you for how many dice you roll, you always
no.
put 4 and then 3.
No, it automatically rolls 4d4 when it's rolling fate
Yeah.
dice.
Yeah.
That's
The first
automatic. In the other roll type, you'd have to.
Oh, okay.
So just like when you would roll a d20, it
My
asks,
bad.
"What are you rolling for?" So you'd put in, attack, whatever it is. So you put in
All right.
what skill you're doing, and then the modifier on that skill.
Yes. Okay.
I think I fucked that up.
like that.
Okay. Okay, so you don't add a plus when you type it in. Good to know.
You don't need to; it just does it itself.
Because it gave me 2 pluses and it's showing it as 0, and I think that's supposed to be.
It should be a 2.
That should be a 2. Yes.
Okay, so it basically read it as a +1. Okay, it's at 2.
Messed it up. Yeah, that should be a 2.
Okay, I won't use pluses. Good to
So
know.
I think I've got rolls for everyone. So unfortunately, Manfred doesn't notice. All right, Manfred, you notice a little you notice that Draper is reacting, but you can't quite tell what it's about. All right.
Okay.
Ashton, you're just looking at that knife, as are you, Monica.
Right back. Answer the door.
I think I already know.
And Patrick, you don't know, but you do know the blood smells good. Like,
Yeah.
you're too busy dealing with that. But Angela and Elizabeth definitely kind of see both Lyra and Victor are kind of stealing themselves, because what's basically happening is someone is taking a plate of food and dumping it on the floor in front of them. And admittedly, they know the magical significance of this, and so that's what they're doing. So Lorelai cuts her hand, puts it on the table, hands it to Richard. She starts bandaging her hand up after, Richard takes it, cuts his hand, puts it on the table. He wipes the knife clean, hands it out to anyone. Anyone want to take the knife and do the next thing? All right?
Manfred will do it.
Manfred takes the knife?
Yep.
All right.
Manfred does it. I take it after him.
All right. I'm assuming you all are cleaning the knife because Regina will like hand around different cloths.
Yes.
For you
Oh
all to
yeah,
do
of
that.
course.
Mhm.
So Angela has the knife now. Anyone else want to take it?
I mean,
Victor reaches out. He takes the knife. I counted to 5 in my head before he did it.
all right.
So Victor reaches out. He takes the knife. He cuts his hand, puts it on there, hands it over to Liana. She cuts her hand. She puts it down on the table. Lucky is losing his ever-loving shit right now.
Just kind of patting him on the back and rubbing it.
It's just like he's got like his like hand over one of his eyes, and it's just not looking like I just can't anymore.
They're
So-
destroying his home.
His table. I liked that table. I picked that table out.
But yeah. Connor will take the knife then if it's being offered. Just because I want to get this shit over with before I start going crazy.
All right. So I'm just marking who's blooded the ritual so far.
Lizzie's gonna get up and grab a lighter and a metal bowl to put all of the cloths that have been used to clean the knives off.
Yeah.
Good to know. Right.
Valia will take the knife.
So you're taking the knife and you're gonna press your hand on the table.
Yep.
All right. That leaves only a few more people left after Velia.
Lizzie will take it next.
Lizzie
and then
takes
offer
it
it
next.
to Lucky.
Lucky is too distraught to do it, but Patricia takes it from you and cuts her hand, slams it down. She's like, I am in. All right. All right. I'm going to assume Lyra does it.
Lyra's not here,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. She's not here, but her character is here, but Molly isn't here. So Lyra does it, not Lyra. So that leaves Ashton and Lucky. Lucky is just so distraught. Ashton, are you going to take the knife and do this?
Yes.
All right.
He will do his best not to get blood all over the table.
I mean,
That's kind of the whole point, is to get blood all over the table.
He doesn't want to make. He doesn't want to make Lucky even more distraught, though it's pretty far
Lucky's-
gone at this point.
Too late for that.
Yeah,
He'll. So wait, I thought the ritual was just like. Wait, so you actually want to get blood on the table? Seriously?
Yeah.
I thought it was just cutting with the knife.
No. They're cutting with the knife, and then they're pressing their like a thing of their blood into the felt, where the felt's really quickly absorbing the blood, so that it's not leaving any blood for anyone to come along and gather because it's in the
Okay.
felt.
That's fair.
But it's leaving bloody marks on this table. Like,
All right, so Ashton will say, "Sorry, man," and then firmly put his hand down.
it's not you, and he does it. So Lucky's the only one there, and he's just there. He's looking at what once was a perfectly good poker table. Oh, Ashton, what are you doing with the knife? Are you handing it out to him or what?
I'm handing it out to him and giving him an expectant look.
All right. He kind of looks up, looks at you with the knife, looks over at Regina, who's giving an expectant look, looks up at Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what look are you giving Bucky?
Please.
A what?
He says, please.
Right. Bucky goes, yeah, might as well. Takes the knife, cuts his hand, puts it down on the table. And it's great. And so then you're all bandaged up. For those of you who don't heal quickly, bandages are given out to everyone. They're yours to take home. Don't worry about it.
Once all of the cloths that have been used to clean the knife have been collected, Lizzie's going to set them on fire.
Yes. Regina goes over and pours some alcohol in it first, and then lights it on. Helps you light it on fire. So there's kind of a burning trash can, and Lucky just kind of looks at it and goes, "Oh my life! What a perfect illustration of my life right now."
Lucky, you don't mean that.
All right, I don't. It's like, yeah, you can see like Elizabeth, and you can see Elizabeth. You can definitely see Regina and Patricia giving him like subtle, dirty looks, like. So anyway, so Regina kind of sits there and goes, with this table, we're forging something stronger than what we had in New Orleans. In New Orleans, the bargaining table I had took a little blood from you at the end to seal the pact. With this, we are sealing our pact together. We will get through this with a little help from all of us, because we'll be able to contact and go through with whatever it is that we need to. She kind of stands up there and she goes, I am with you all. Now, she kind of looks over at everyone and goes, well, I believe the next thing we need to do is sort of discuss what we're going to do next. Malin kind of goes, what do you mean, what are you going to do next? Regina goes, I mean, what's our next step for going after my father? Malin stands up. Is like, well, it's quite simple. We beat him here today. We won a victory. We need to press this advantage. We need to go on the offensive, hard and fast. We need to start hitting Magnus. This is probably the first time he's lost something in a while. He doesn't have momentum. He's running scared. We need to nail him down now before he gets away, before he has time to regroup. Which point, Liana kind of goes, as good as that sounds, I'm sure we don't want to go off half-cocked. I mean, it would probably be best that most of these, Regina herself is very new to the area, and my husband and I are not certainly as well entrenched as we could be. We were not preparing for a fight with Magnus Coronado. I believe it is dutiful for us to gather our forces, to circle our own wagons, so that we can stand up for whatever he tries to throw at us. Richard kind of looks at them and goes, so you're saying you don't want to actually take the fight to him? And Richard is like, peace between the two of you. It's like, that's not what they're saying. It's not without merit, but I'd want to know what are the thoughts of everyone. And with that, she kind of gestures to everyone else in the group. So, what are your thoughts? Sorry, Steph, go.
I think we need to find a balance and a compromise between both. We don't want to give him too much of an opportunity to get his forces together to come against us, but we also don't want to be unprepared for when he strikes out.
Well, we could also look at dismantling his businesses slowly.
Regina kind of nods. Now, I'm going to take a little pause here to explain a little bit more about gameplay in the Dresden Files. So, one of the things that you can do in the Dresden Files are actions that are called assessments. And they are very close to other actions you can do called declarations. What these things are is about discovering or creating aspects or facts about the world that you guys can use to your advantage. Currently, you guys don't have or know many aspects about Magnus Coronado. So I think it's probably likely that most of you are sitting here wondering, what do you mean, what are we going to do? I don't know anything about this guy. I don't have that information. And so the way you would go about getting this information from about Magnus is going to be through aspects or declarations. Now, while they're very closely tied, there are some very key differences in them. The first is assessment. Assessing an aspect or assessing facts is about trying to discover something that is already there. Whereas a declaration is trying to introduce a new, interesting, or useful fact to the situation. For example, if you were, let's say you meet a guy on the street and you're trying to figure out where he works, you could say, well, I want to use I want to follow him and track him down so I can go to his job and see where he works. And that would probably be an investigation roll or maybe a stealth roll or something to assess that information. And then I would give you the answer that you find, because assessment means the GM either tells you what he already knows or comes up with the answer to it there. Then we also have, but as contrast to that, a declaration would be you meet a guy on the street and you want to know where he works. So, but instead of like following him and taking a whole long time, you say, I'd like to make a declaration that there's a McDonald's hat or work shirt hanging out of his bag. So obviously he works at McDonald's. It's two ways of getting the exact same information that guy worked at McDonald's. One of it is, now admittedly, declarations tend to be a little easier if the idea is good and if it furthers the story. If you say, oh, this loyal guy who is, Magnus's right-hand bodyguard, he is secretly allied with Regina. Like, that's probably going to be a really big role right now. It might not be after a long time to make that declaration. But if that guy who works with Magnus Coronado has gambling debts, that might be an easier thing. But it's also still something you can use. Does everyone have any questions so far about assessment and declaration?
No.
No, it makes sense.
No.
Okay. So both, I'm going to say, I'm going to just continue going on. Both of them require you to make a roll with some skill. Although there are some indications where you might not have to do that. For instance, you could just usually pay a chip to make some declarations. Sometimes it has to do with an aspect. Like For instance, let's say you wanted to find a karaoke bar that served good food and also catered to the supernatural. Now, you could make an assessment to try to figure that out by, say, you either using your driving for city knowledge or contacts or scholarship to look it up on the internet or something. Or you could simply make a declaration and tag an aspect that relates to you being from the local area. Say, oh yeah, I know just the place because I'm a blank, because I'm a hometown hero, or because I was raised in the Arcadian high society and the Vegas streets. I know that place because my aspect says I should know that place. It costs a chip to do that, but that can be more acceptable, and that's another way to introduce things into the game if you don't want to trust the dice, because sometimes the dice can betray you. They're tricksy little buggers sometimes. So I believe that's all I have for that. Other than that, this is basically going to be sitting around discussing with a group how you want to go forward, because the plan is to take out Magnus Coronado. And I have some NPCs here who are willing to bounce ideas off of you, but I don't want the NPCs to run the show. I want this to be your game. If you have questions, you can ask them questions and what they think. They're here to be sounding boards for you. Please don't think that you can't come to an NPCs and you have to do everything on your own. I do want to introduce one other aspect, which is something that Gina has put on the group with this ritual and everything. It's the group aspect above you. We'll get by with a little help from our friends. Basically, this is an aspect that I'm putting over absolutely every one of you. You have that aspect. That means if you're in a situation with one of your friends, with someone else, or if you're in a situation by yourself, you can ask for a compel against that, and let's say Manfrey, he's in a situation where someone wants to break his legs because he owes him money, or maybe Ashton's in that situation because of his chip. Now, he could just say, well, I put myself in this situation, I got my chip for it, I'm going to be the one who deals with it. Or he could try to go to Connor and help him deal with it. And if he goes to Connor and tries to get Connor involved in his program, I'll give him a chip because he's playing into the aspect we'll get by with a little help from our friends. Does that make sense for everyone?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The long and short of it is if you have an issue and you go to another player character, you should get a chip for that. If you're constantly going to the same player character, I might not give you a chip for that as an incentive to possibly go out for this. Now, keep in mind, also with aspects, if you ever play up one of your aspects a lot and you think it's causing you trouble, or it's really should be coming to the forefront, you can remind me of it, because you guys have like 7 aspects per character. I can't remember them all. So I'm going to make mistakes. So if you think something should be brought up that hasn't been brought up, please tell me, and I might go, oh yeah, you're right, here's a chip for that. Okay, so you're all there. Elizabeth has said, so to recap where we are in this situation, Richard Mallon has said, I want to go on the offensive. I want to make sure that Magnus starts. I want to start attacking Magnus Coronado. Victor and the Drapers Victor Draper and Liana Draper are kind of like, we kind of think it'd be best to play it a little defensive and to build our situation up before we actually start actively going after him, because our little defeat of him here is nothing compared to other stuff. Elizabeth has suggested a middle ground. Manfrey has said, well, we could start going after his businesses. What does Angela think about all of this?
No comment.
No comment.
I think if we go without knowing anything, we're just as likely to be ambushed as we are to make any progress.
I like Manfred's business angle. And
I do too. That was interesting.
I think it makes sense. I mean, really, I feel like it's going to be hard to get him out of control if we don't take down his businesses. But at the same time, it's very difficult to get a business shut down, she says, and gives Manfrey a pointed look.
Well, yes, but if we can maybe pin any deaths that may be tied to a business on him, or even to that business, it might be easier to get it shut down.
Regina does speak up at that and goes, pinning deaths on him will likely be hard. I don't know it, but I would assume he has some kind of contacts or control over the police. It's pretty standard operating procedure for him to have that. Trixie kind of goes, if you have enough guys wreck a place, it's pretty easy to shut down a business. Just saying, like...
Well, it also depends on how tenacious an individual is, too.
I mean, my guys are very tenacious.
Out of character, I have an idea. I'd like to see if I'm doing this right. I could make a declaration by spending a chip and tagging my aspect working class weresnake. I'd say I worked at one of the as like sort of a low level like courier, packer, whatever, at one of Magnus's businesses, like a hotel, for instance. So I have an idea of when the delivery dates are for certain, or delivery schedule is.
Yeah, you can totally
or at least like the layout of the building. Like the schedules are subject to change, but I know a general idea of how things work.
Yeah. Put out a chip, and I'll take it. Please put it in the player characters area.
Player character, like on top of my face?
Yeah. Or in the allies or threats or something. So there we go. So Ashen peeks up and goes, I've made deliveries to like his various things, and I got a couple odd jobs, like as a janitor in one of his in one of his hotels, because Coronado has several hotels and things. He's got several clubs. I can pull up the names and list of his various publicly known establishments, but a lot of them are hotels. And
so basically, if we want to like do any sort of corporate sabotage level things just to make things go poorly, I could assist with that.
All right. Angela, what are you thinking right now?
I still don't have anything to say.
What are you thinking right now?
That we need more information.
Okay. Then you could voice that. Angela, are you going to voice the fact that you think that you need more information?
Yes.
All right.
We need more information on him before we can do anything.
Angela has just suggested you guys gather more information, basically.
Not a bad idea either.
I agree.
Certainly.
Regina Regina looks at Angela and goes, "How would you suggest we gather more information on him?"
Angela shrugs.
You don't have any ideas?
Figuring out what sort of information we're looking for would be important. Do we want information on his businesses? Do we want information on him personally? Do we want information on his allies?
Regina kind of nods, yes, that'd be important. Richard goes, businesses, definitely. Disrupting his businesses is going to be one of the main jobs we need done.
Well, do we happen to know who his accountants are, people who do buying for him are, or can we find out?
Again, that would be that would be something that would be handled as assessments or as declarations.
Let me just... Nah, I wouldn't be able to declare that, but I could assess something.
Yeah. So, I mean, but assessing who his things are it's probably going to be something that happens not in this scene. It's
That's what
something
I'm
that
assuming.
you could get done, but that might be something for someone to also write down to keep a list of the various ideas.
I have
what you guys
out of character. I have a suggestion for an assessment we could do.
Oh,
Sure.
But it's not something Ashton would do himself. So that's what I wanted to say. So Ashton speaks up and says, I know a lot of these casinos draw in customers by rep. Do we know of any VIPs currently staying at any of Magnus's hotels? If we can disrupt that, make the news, that'll be a big blow to his brand.
So Victor kind of goes, draw away VIPs from the alabaster. I like it.
I figure one of you high rollers might know who's who.
Sorry, Belly. I'm just having some technical difficulties. Give me a second.
Okay. So I rolled some contacts for Richard Mallon. He got a great contacts, which means he's going to come up with the name of 3 high rollers.
that's a good idea.
There's a Jonathan Burton. A Candy Bass. and an ace Ashby. So I'm going to declare something about ace Ashby. Ace is a poker player.
Yeah.
Lucky kind of like, Ace is here? Oh, that's not good.
Well, Lucky, we could try to disrupt him for you.
I mean, he's not a bad guy, but it's not like he's fucking Zeke or anything. Like,
I don't know if anyone could be as bad as Zeke.
some people are bad as Zeke, you know.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So, other than that, so we've got Ace Ashby. He's a pretty decent poker player. Anyone want to suggest any other ideas or declarations without you don't have to pay a chip for these because Richard Mallon already assessed this. So we're coming up with people on the fly, basically. These are 3 people that you guys would want to interact with, would want to target, would want to get to know and interact with. Is there anyone that you want to bring up anything about these people?
I'm really trying to avoid the obvious one that comes to mind.
What's the obvious thing that comes to mind?
With a name like Candy Bass, it's just... I'm certain you all know exactly what I'm thinking. Vegas.
Professional chef?
Yes, professional chef, exactly.
Yes.
I wonder who Jonathan Burt would be. So he's a high roller. Gotta think about this. That's
Jonathan
hard.
Burton.
Please brainstorm some ideas. I am going to use the restroom and I will be back. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what Jonathan Burton could be because they're high rollers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means high rollers are power players.
Oh, Candy Bass. Let's see. She could also be a model too for like a high magazine or something.
True. She'd hear enough gossip as a model.
Okay.
But then, well, then again, this is Vegas. I mean, granted, you can't have. Well, actually, you could. You could have like a celebrity haircutter or barber, rather, in Vegas who hears everything. But I don't. I'm thinking into real world people now. Going, who hears the most gossip?
Uber drivers.
You know, they really do.
What?
I know. I used to be one, and people say that they're the worst. The things I know about people.
It's nuts.
I had passengers offer me Coke once. It's pretty fun.
At least they were willing to share.
Yeah, I think it was more like they were talking so openly and then suddenly realized there was a person in the car.
That's funny.
That's great.
Smart. If you do the
Well,
Coke
she
thing,
could
you
also
can't-
be with Candy Bash, she could also be a adult film actor.
Yeah, that's kind of where my mind went immediately with
Yeah.
a name like that.
Explain what's happening. Did you listen to the recap? Yes. I was damn bloody confused. Okay, then ask questions.
I'm thinking that Jonathan Byrne is some sort of like executive officer of some big company. I just don't know like what company.
Oh, you mean I know exactly what the term is, and it's just not coming to mind.
What was the name again?
Jonathan Burton.
Wait.
So he'd be, if you're talking someone hiring a hotel, it'd be like, what, regional manager or something for?
Well, these are executive guests.
Oh, they're
Maybe like a
executives.
film director.
Yeah, they're
people
guests.
with money. They're people who are
Okay.
going to spend money.
Yeah.
My apologies then. They're power players who spend money. So yes, poker
Could be
player.
like the CEO of a big oil company or something. For all I know,
You could be anything.
Yeah.
You could literally just be independently wealthy with no job.
Yeah,
Just
there's that
means
too.
you're there to spend money.
He
That's
could
true.
he could be somebody that won the lottery.
Oh God.
I just made $10 million. I'm gonna go to Vegas.
Oh, people do.
This will end
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And totally not fat in the casino's coffers. All right. There's a
A
lot.
West Virginian millionaire from a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Hillbilly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or he could be like a, very well-known novel writer.
Yeah, potentially. There are quite a few novel writers who'll just.
Alvinires and gambling problems go together.
Oh yeah,
Candy could write romance novels.
that's true.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, actually, that makes more
You could
sense.
be like Nora Roberts.
She's doing research so she can write a stripper redeem story.
Yeah.
And no city is more romantic than Las Vegas,
Of course.
where romance
Of
ends
course.
and begins every other minute.
Hello.
I like the novel writer, actually.
I'm
Mhm.
kinda
Everyone
liking this
here.
now.
So what's going on?
A lot of brainstorming, nothing concrete.
Yes.
Candy Base could be a romance
I feel like the
novelist,
novel
or
writer's a
Jonathan
good
Byrne
one.
could be a
Yeah,
novel
I think the
winner from
romance novel writer. I like that one.
I really like that too.
So
Okay, yeah.
so you want Jonathan Burton or Candy Bass to be a romance novel writer?
Candy Bass.
Candy Bass.
Yeah. Because, like I said, what better? Wait, no, I wasn't the one who said that.
All right.
I'm confusing myself. But yeah,
Everyone. Heather, you want to say something?
I have no idea what's going on or why we're doing anything we're doing. I am completely and totally lost.
Okay. Would anyone like to give a help explain to Heather what's going on?
Okay. So, as I understand it, these three names on the screen, that's, under the player characters, Jonathan Burton, Candy Bass, and Ace Ashby, are three people, like high rollers, important VIPs, currently staying at one of Magnus's hotels that Richard gained from doing a contacts roll that Richard Mountain. So we're trying to just determine what kind of people they are, and just for interactions, because presumably we're going to try to target them to get them away from Magnus's hotels, to deal damage to him economically and socially.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else you need to know? Anything else you're confused about or concerned about?
No, it's fine. Let's just keep going.
No, I want to make sure that you understand. So I would like you to tell me what's going on in game right now. Okay? That
We're
we
trying to
know
take
that
down
you
Magnus
understand.
Coronado.
Okay. Do you know why we're trying to take down Magnus Coronado?
He's a dickhead.
Yes. How particularly is he a dickhead? Do you recall that?
No.
All right. Does someone want to explain why Magnus Coronado is a dickhead?
Because he tried to barge into Regina's establishment, make her bow down to him, and kiss his ring in front of everyone there.
Well, that's kind of the most recent thing. He's kind of a big powerhouse in Vegas. He
You cut out there. I didn't hear.
Magnus is kind of like the big powerhouse in Las Vegas. So like Malin doesn't like him because Coronado has a better and more profitable, business venture. Whereas like Regina doesn't like him because he's kind of a terrible, horrible person to his family.
All right. Well, I want to thank Heather for coming, but apparently she doesn't want to pay attention to game. And so, unfortunately, she's not going to be playing with us. All right. So, sorry about that.
Not your fault.
So, you guys were discussing Candy Bass being a romance novel writer.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
See, I suggested that Burden could be a CEO of some hotshot CEO of a company, and I think Connor suggested he could be a lottery ticket winner from West Virginia.
He could also just be like
Mm.
some real big idiot in his 20s with daddy's money.
Oh yeah, and inherited wealth.
I mean,
Well,
I
and
suppose
since
he
he
could
has
be.
the last name Burton, Steph keeps thinking Tim Burton and says
Me too.
he should be a director.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with any of these. They seem pretty entertaining.
A director of what, though?
Well, and factoring in that, like, what would they even be doing there? Like, are they there for a reason, or are they just on vacation?
I just assumed vacation, but if Ace Ashby is there, he's probably, as a poker player and Lucky knows him, he's probably there to make money.
There might be a big tournament coming up.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, like Lucky live like there's always tournaments that are coming. Like, could very well be that Ace Ashby is living the life that Lucky's living.
Mooching off of hotels and having sex with his multiple girlfriends.
I mean, possibly.
Ding, ding, ding.
It's Vegas. Vegas, baby.
What if Jonathan Burton was like a Zagat Guide critic or something? Someone who's being given VIP treatment not because they have a lot of money, but because they can provide a service.
They have a lot of
Ooh.
influence.
That they have
Okay.
pull.
Yeah.
So someone who works like for Zagat Guide or for the James Beard Foundation judging food or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, I like that.
Me too.
Sounds like a criticky name too to me. Like I could see that as a byline on an article.
Jonathan Burton's Zagat critic and food writer / star. I could see him like having like almost like a an Alton Brown kind of, you know, show thing.
Got some restaurants of his own on the side.
He's a Food Network star.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
The kind of people who wouldn't want a snake showing up in their restaurant.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what we do. You guys distract the chefs. I sneak into a plate and I jump out at him.
That just made an ooh sound.
Go ahead.
What if he is there because he's in talks with Magnus for possibly opening a new restaurant in one of his hotels?
That is awesome.
Ooh, I like it.
Even better.
Travis, do
Meredith,
you
Magnus
have
is-
an aspect about being a snake in a boot?
There's a snake in my boot.
No.
Mhm.
I'm a slippery little snake. That's one of my aspects.
So I like these so far.
Let's
So,
see.
yeah,
I do have
we. I'm sorry.
quick
Continue, Travis.
just I was thinking about how, like, you know, Candy Bass is here to write a romance novel, or is she just here on vacation? Because if she's actually here to write a novel, she could have been here for a while, which means she may have developed a relationship with someone, one of the other high rollers.
So I'm drawing on the fact that actually one of my coworkers writes romance novels. She's probably on vacation and saying it's her working on her book so she can write the expenses off on her taxes.
All right.
That's perfect.
There, I fixed that. I put the quotations around it.
Okay.
Research.
Oh yeah, the third margarita is definitely research.
Yep. The idea is only
Researching
start
what's at the bottom of the glass.
after 3 margaritas. You're researching how do I get back to my room. I forgot which hotel I'm staying in, and this is that hotel's bar.
Okay, so I think we got enough for these guys.
I think we know why Ace is here.
So, we might need to take a pause, though. I think Brandon stepped away for a minute.
Okay.
Oh. So just random BS talk for a few minutes then.
Sounds good.
Also, sorry about that. I did not mean to step away for that long. Gotta love when you have to go to the bathroom and all of a sudden you get a phone call. Eh.
Hey. Oh, I can go throw away my trash then. I'll be right back.
I would do that. Ugh, shit. So Ace is probably here for a poker tournament or something. Or trying to strike it big. I'm still thinking about how best to dismantle someone's seat of power.
I think part of that is there's just not one way to do it.
I mean,
someone as powerful and with that many different things going on, it takes probably a number of different actions.
it's going to take multiple simultaneous attacks. And we're probably going to have to kidnap some of his associates or something crazy. I know that's horrible, but if we really want to stop this guy... Actually, I thought of something I could declare, but might not be good too.
Can always hold it in reserve.
Well, I'm just considering using my trouble aspect. But that's very dangerous, because that gives him a powerful ally. Which would be bad. Then again, they might already be working with each other, so who knows. It's just... It's a shame we can't just go full murder hobo and just blow up his buildings. I mean, we can, but we'll die. If we go full fucking chaotic evil and destroy his shit. Never ends well.
No, it doesn't.
What else? Because we can cripple him financially by doing this. Snatching his VIPs, getting to his accountant, looking into buyers and people who fund him, but I think that's one of the first things we're going to have to tackle, honestly. Because then we've made it impossible for him to run.
Well, I think the accountant thing is not necessarily trying to make him lose money, but if we could somehow...
Get him on tax evasion?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Have his accountant fess up to cooking the books and have him audited by the IRS. That would be bad. And it would also make the news.
Ooh, reputation. That's right. Now I'm remembering how this works. Because it's financial, reputation, and what's the other big one? I mean, yeah, physical health, but no, we don't just want to go up to and kill him. That's not destroying someone. God, this is fucked up now I think about it. I mean,
yeah, because EVPS has been sort of destroying Manfree's reputation. Which in turn affects... Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't know Manfree had a reputation.
Well, he was a member of them, and now they've been targeting him to destroy him.
Back. Did I miss anything?
Mostly just us thinking about other angles of attack, brainstorming.
Okay.
Because yeah, if we take someone's reputation, take their money, we can take their health too. But that's There's a fourth one to that. I forgot what it was though.
I mean, if you outright kill them, you just take their power. Period. But
Yeah, but from what I can tell, it seems these people don't want to kill him. Besides that, that's dangerous, especially in Dresden, because that creates a power vacuum. And
Right. When you
You're talking
kill
about
someone
Magnus?
who's in power, you don't know the thing that's going to take its place is going to be worse.
yeah, Until
it's
we can-
always worse.
yeah. I'm saying until we can install the people we know won't completely abuse the power, a little is fine, but completely no.
I think in this context we're talking about Magnus, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd say for the most part, Victor and Richard would probably fill the vacuum, but you're right. It potentially, just have him replaced with another third player.
Well,
But assuming those two don't destroy themselves in the process.
that's true. Because
Well,
the other... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I'm just saying, I know of two other power players that are not part of Vegas, but are part of Vegas at the moment, anyway.
Well, and also consider that killing him doesn't mean that his business won't still exist. It could just be that another Coronado will take over and be worse somehow.
A very angry Coronado, perhaps.
I mean, unless that Coronado is named LeBlanc, then
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
welcome back.
yes, I'm back. Caught a little bit of the tail end of that. It
Because
seems like it was all really good discussion, though. I like that. Thank you very much.
this is actually making me think. Because, yeah, just outright killing him, that vacuum. I know of three other power players we haven't seen yet who could make very terrifying introductions if they wanted to.
What three power players?
One of the ones that comes to mind, although they wouldn't have much interest, I would assume, in owning casinos and the like, we don't know what Nellis is up to. They could be someone trying to fill a
Yeah.
vacuum with
They can
power.
install a puppet, perhaps.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Prism is. I don't think they would, but potentially. And then there's the...
No, not everyone knows what Prism is.
Okay, never mind then. Then that might be meta knowledge, sorry.
Who knows
Um,
what the Fae are up to?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even consider the Fae. Fuck. I was thinking
I
of
don't know.
the...
I don't know, Velia. What is your boss up to?
Sorry, I was grabbing a drink. What?
We were talking about how your boss has already taken over a lot of the businesses.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm kidding.
Ooh. Because I started thinking about that, now it just occurred to me.
I could potentially already have connections from my spy work.
Oh, this just got really fun because I just realized something amazing. We can gather power. And by that I mean, there are potential allies out there. I don't think we can count on Nellis at the moment as a potential ally, but there's the Fae who, if we can get them on our side, we have a fucking massive force of power.
Mhm.
And that's a big goddamn if.
And you have an agent of the Fae right here. But I think this is time we should probably get back into character and discuss about the people that we've
I'm
come
sorry.
up with. Because we've come up with
Plus the
three
bikers. Anyway, sorry.
three facts for three people that are high rollers in the area. Jonathan Burton, he's a Zagat food critic, food writer and star. He's trying to get him to open up. Magnus is trying to get him to open up a restaurant in the Alabaster because that would just be another huge draw. Candy Bash. She's a romance novel writer. She's here writing her newest bestseller. And you have Ace Ashby. It's the Alabaster's Star Poker Tournament Hotshot. Okay, Turney, I don't know how to fucking spell words. Don't hate me. All right, so we got these three people here. So far, I believe the ideas you've come up with are targeting his actual hotel business ventures. Target his high rollers, which we have three of them right there, and Richard Mallon is completely up and in on this. Is there anything else that you think that that one of your characters thinks that you guys would need to do?
I might suggest that trying to get some of his daughters on our side might be a good idea. We could possibly use them as spies or double agents.
I was just thinking of that, actually.
Yeah, an ally you steal from him is one ally is basically worth two, like, because it's an ally he no longer has and an ally that you now have.
If anyone more familiar with the Coronados might be able to help in that front. I'm just a worker, but that's a good angle to go for, definitely.
So we've had someone bring up the other two, but how is Elizabeth going to broach up the topic of actually talking to the daughters? Because you're the one who came up with it. How are you going to bring that up in character, so to speak? Try to get in on this thing.
So Lizzie kind of like fiddles a bit with her necklace and says, well, if we want to take him down, the best way to do that would probably be to try and sway the people closest to him.
Regina kind of looks at you going, actually, more than Regina looks at you. Regina's just the first one that looks at you, but everyone else kind of turns. And Liana's the one who goes, what do you mean, dear?
Well, the person that you least expect to turn on you is the person that you think is, your loyal ally and servant.
Ah, treachery. Treachery is very good, but will we be able to trust those who have turned on their former allies? Regina kind of nods. That is a concern.
I think we would have to give them a very good reason why they should trust us over him.
Or you can use them if we know they can't be trusted to filter in false information.
So at this point, Victor Draper kind of looks at Regina and goes, you would be probably the one who would know better. And so kind of sighs and she nods and reaches and she pulls out a dossier. Starts going through the various daughters that she knows of the family. Well, the 5 that were here today, one of them was Delicia Deno Coronado. She was my closest sister growing up. We went through a lot together. She wanted to leave plenty of times, but I convinced her to stay, and then I ran away. She kind of looks down and away to kind of explain a little bit of the guilt that she felt in the earlier scene when Delicia just looked at her. Right now, I can see she's become Daddy's right-hand little girl. I don't know what she wants. Then we have Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn she's powerful. She's been my father's face to the rest of the White Court for ages. When he's invited somewhere, she's the one who shows up. She deals with things for him. And there's young Amelia. Quite like her older full sister, Gwendolyn. She's a favored daughter. I'm sure Gwendolyn helps keep her in line. That's why she's been entrusted with more duties. There are at least 3 other sisters I know working in the area with my father. Elsa and Elisa, the 2 twins, they are wild children. Very hard to control, but they're not currently in Daddy's favor, if from what I hear is correct. And Olivia, who usually is one of Daddy's more preferred agents. I don't know what she's doing at this point. She tends to work subtly. Of course, she looks at Elizabeth and goes, "You know of Bianca back in New Orleans. I'm sure she would be, she will not be an issue for us. If anything, if she were to come here, she would be an ally with how much she hates her. With what we've heard, her sister Beth is currently out of the family and having a life of her own. She's technically still family, but I believe she's pure mortal now. I believe one of my father's sons, Leonard, is still around in the area. Don't know what he's doing. My father usually left his sons to fend for themselves, and thus most of them were gobbled up by other houses or otherwise taken out by other agents. He always did work close with Candace, though. His sort of sister. There are likely a few other younger members of the house also that I do not know of and haven't met, as I've been away for several years.
Perhaps then we might want to try and set up a meeting with Beth. If she's been in the area, she might have more information that she can provide to us on the daughters.
Regina kind of nods. That would probably be a good idea. She might be able to do that, and it would be good to see her again. Hopefully, she'll be less angry at me than Bianca was. There's a pain in Regina's voice when she says that.
Bianca had her reasons.
Yes. Good now, water under the bridge. So we were discussing about my family.
Yes, I'm sorry to hear about things.
Don't worry, it's been a long time. Old wounds, so to speak. And you actually see like two of the bodyguards kind of move over, sort of just pat Regina on each of the shoulder. She just looks at Trixie and she just goes, "I'm like over here," they were closer.
What about your mother?
My mother is likely dead.
Hmm.
Forgive me if this is out of place, but I get the impression that Magnus is not likely to keep the mothers of his children around if they're not of use to him.
That last line is the important part there, the if they are not of use to him. So long as that they are living, he can feed from them and use them. He keeps a stable of women. It's possible she's still alive, but she was never allowed to be much of a mother. Again, the things just keep patting her on the shoulder. She's like, "Trixie, it's fine. It's one of the reasons you and I get along so well." And Trixie kind of blushes a little bit and goes, "I don't know. I mean, my mom was walking out for me, apparently." Regina kind of just laughs and goes, "Indeed she was."
Would I be the worst?
So the plan is talk to Beth to try to get more information about what's going on?
Yes, but you gave me another thought.
Oh?
Poisoning his food supply.
I mean, I feel really bad about, killing so many people with arsenic.
Lizzie kind of grins and is like, "That's not the type of poison I meant, and you know it."
Ashton speaks up. He's like, "Oh, that's good because we're about to have a problem there." Say no killing a bunch of innocent people, please.
Victor Draper nods, and Victor Draper nods, and so does Richard Mallon. Again, the two of them seem very in line with what they actually believe if they would just stop fucking hating each other.
Say a bunch of deaths on the ship is probably bad for everyone.
I feel like if we kill a bunch of people, that just makes us just as bad as him.
Mm-hmm. Regina goes, well, I mean, there is the old saying, you can't make an omelet without killing a few people.
Well,
What I meant is for wounds to truly hurt those of our family that are lust feeders is items that were given and hold within them the power of true love.
She nods and goes, well, you and I both, dear cousin, have plenty of those. Still, it would be difficult to sprinkle them around his house as liberally as Genevieve sprinkles the cards around ours when I piss her off.
Yes, but it might cause his demon pause if one of the women that he were to try and take to feed on was like us and possessed true love to protect her.
It's possible. The issue there would be getting her out of his control and getting her to have true love. True love cannot be forced. And he has likely twisted her so very, very tightly.
That's very true. It might be more likely to entice him with a new individual that we knew was already in possession of true love.
She goes, I would not want to throw someone like that to my father, for I know exactly what he would do. Someone who is possessed of true love that he desires, he twists them and he riles them up and he gets them to sleep with someone else. And then they are not protected.
Lizzie just kind of quietly nods at that.
She nods. It was a decent idea, but there are flaws, unfortunately.
It's quite all right. I figured we were just throwing out ideas.
Indeed,
Well-
we are. Manfred.
if you want to possibly, maybe on some of the more susceptible ones, cause guilt, we could always, if there are, as you said, the dead mothers, we could have them visit.
My father does not encourage us to bond with our mothers.
Yes, I can understand that. But maybe start those that haven't really had time to understand that, have one haunt them. Sort of make it seem like a guilt that's lingering.
Haunt one of my sisters?
Yes.
The issue I see with that is only the ones who are still human enough to care would be bothered. And those are the last ones that I would want to make feel bad about their humanity.
I do understand that.
But speaking with Beth is a decent idea. So Victor goes, that's all well. Victor goes, that's all well and good, but what are we going to do about getting a better position ourselves?
Hmm.
Are there any allies that we can call upon? I highly doubt that the White Council itself will be lending itself to this matter. Very unlikely for them to want to get involved in a spat between vampire kind.
I'm involved in this independently, but I could see if my leaders at Arcadia have anything to offer. It certainly would be in their best interest to have less Coronado influence in the city.
Because, yes, I thought you had the air of one of the fair folk about you.
Who was it that said that?
Liliana. Tavelia.
Is her tone like insulting?
No, it's more light and airy, like, oh, yes, I thought you had sort of sense of the fair folk about you.
Okay, I needed to know if I had to get indignant with her.
I mean, you can get indignant with Liliana if you want. I'm not sure it will do you much good.
I was mentored by a powerful witch known as Annette Stein. I don't know if she'll have any particular interest in this endeavor, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
All right. So now we're going to possible allies. So at this point, Regina actually pulls out a whiteboard and actually starts doing this on the whiteboard.
Of course.
Like, or technically, she whispers something to Trixie, and Trixie has Ben bring in a whiteboard.
Well, that's always helpful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Trixie goes, I am always helpful. Thank you very much. You're very polite. You're not Cecil at all.
Well, of course. I like you, Trixie.
I like you too, not Cecil.
Manfrey just laughs.
Lizzie gives Manfrey a look of, don't get any ideas.
He just smiles at her.
Oh, come on. I'm sure whoever this Cecil character is, he couldn't have been that bad.
I have no idea.
She goes, you obviously never knew Cecil. I love you, Travis.
He was doing what he was told.
I mean, he's not a bad guy right now. Oh yeah, all right. So FYI, I want to say the jokes about like Manfrey redeeming the name of Cecil don't work because Travis, you redeemed the name of Cecil and you did it good.
Yeah.
You did it good.
Was the low point? I think Cecil's low point was when he immolated himself out of pure spite.
I don't. I mean, define low point because.
Yeah, okay.
After that point, you got like 4 people killed for a bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's fair.
Wow, that must have been a good bottle of wine.
Well, he had to replace the one he tried to make he made a hobo knife out of. Because Victor came at him with a meat cleaver, and then when he was getting yelled at, he was like, "No, I was just walking towards you holding a weapon. Why did you get so upset?" Anyway.
That's
All
right.
right, so
I remember that.
I'm going to move Beth Coronado over there to the possible allies. So we got 3 targets, 3 possible allies, and a bunch of you guys. So the question is, who do you think would be the best people to handle these sort of things right here? Because it's the tasks that need to be getting brought up. So basically, Regina goes, so we have quite a list of things to do, but we need to know who is going to go and do these things. It's like, I have to stay here and run the shop, and Trixie's like, I'm like security, but I'll help as much as I can, and Lucky's like I'm kind of in the same boat as them.
I could issue invitations on behalf of Arcadia, inviting them to my show, to the High Rollers. See if any of them come.
Okay, you want to try to put out invitations to the Arcadia people to get them there, so we'll put
to the VIPs staying with Coronado to see if they'll come see my show and give them like a VIP ticket to the lounge.
Present an opportunity to make introductions.
Correct.
All right. So she nods and runs under like the High Rollers. She writes Velia, invite to make an opening. What next?
I can sabotage Jonathan Burton's stay. After all, live animals getting in the food would clearly make a bad impression to such a renowned critic.
Regina nods. She goes, yes, but that's more of a like scorched earth tactic. And that will hurt Burton much more than it hurts Magnus.
Okay.
Yeah. Richard Mellon nods also. It's like, admittedly, if he actually opens up a restaurant, sabotaging the restaurant in the Alabaster and making it look like it's not up to code, that would be a thing.
Okay.
But right now, we're not even sure that's going to happen. It's just in talks.
So you're saying is it would be better if we were able to, for instance,
stop that from happening.
Yeah.
Or get him to look at a different location.
Though that does put the target right over one of you guys' heads, so I'm not sure if you want.
Well,
Richard kind of goes, I'd be willing to meet with any one of them, but I would like some assistance from someone.
Perhaps we need to find out more about Jonathan Burton so we could see what we might have to offer that could.
That I might be able to help with.
I agree. I think with many of these individuals, meeting them and finding out what it is that they want is going to be beneficial.
She nods and she looks at Manfrey. Or Gina nods and she looks at Manfrey. Manfrey, yes, what did you mean about you being able to help out?
Well, if we want to gather information on them, I can reach out to... He takes a deep breath. To the spirits and see what knowledge they have on each of the individuals. And see what maybe we can gather from there. Or if we need some sort of con run, I could help with that.
So she's gonna write on the board. Manfrey, con work, and spirit talking. Kind of looks at that, nods.
I'd be willing to go and talk to Beth.
Who do you want to take with you? Regina asks, completely not because every time Elizabeth goes off alone, something bad happens.
I mean, if I would suggest you, it is your sister. However, I understand that you have other means to attend to. Is anyone else interested in tagging along?
Well, I could go with you to maybe redeem a few things from our previous misunderstanding.
How are your manners?
My manners are quite well, actually. I clean up very well.
Mm-hmm.
She writes on the board under Elizabeth talking to Beth, Manfrey assists, ?
Lizzie just kind of nods.
Potentially.
So she moves it over to daughters and kind of puts Beth's picture over there. So Elizabeth and Manfrey working on that. We've got Velio. Mr. Draper's opening conversation with the High Rollers. He's sure that Lorelei will be able to come with him. Is there anyone else who would want to go and be part of that and handle it? Otherwise, that's going to be a thing that needs to be handled with Brianna off, or when she gets back.
I would be willing to assist. Connor, perhaps you or Velia might also be useful.
Yeah.
I'm more than willing to assist anyone who feels my presence would be useful.
Well, Richard Mallon nods, I would not take up the offer if you don't have a problem working with the Iron Lord, as you call me.
I can work with anyone if I need to.
It's good to know. I've had some trouble with your kind. You guys can kind of see Victor just like bite his lip, like not gonna say a thing. Want to say a thing? Not gonna say a thing. Leanna just puts her hand on his shoulder and whispers, "Yes, very, very good, dear." Just like Malin, just kind of like, I'd love to have. It's like, after all, it is your show. I could see you if you want to do the introduction and stick around and help the conversation. These people about possibly getting Ace to be a new, possibly playing a few tournaments at my clubs, and getting Jonathan to do some more things. Or possibly getting Candy Bass to do some. That might be the hardest. I have a feeling she's staying at the Alabaster because they're pumping her so full of lust that I'm adding something. So she's not just a romance novel writer. She's
Trashy romance novel writer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which makes perfect sense why she's staying at the more, wild and carefree Alabaster than the, well, we're totally family-friendly Bastille.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Really, I think we just need to convince her that there's a local club in town with much more attractive individuals at it.
Leona perks up her eyebrows and goes, "And what club would that be?"
Well, it depends on which flavor she prefers.
Oh, you mean Malin's you mean Malin, the prince and princess's pleasure? Oh. Fiddles back down like, I thought you were going to say something nice about us. Or at least say something for yourself. Either way, but Malin,
I was referring to LeBlanc's, but out of character, it's Sanguine Delights?
Plasma and Sanguine Delights. He oversees Sanguine Delights, which is more of the hedonistic club. That actually is currently stealing more customers away from Magnus's private club.
Sanguine Delights might also be another option. Perhaps if we could befriend her and take her out away from the Alabaster, it would be easier to sway her.
And nods. That seems like a different approach than what Veli is planning then. Who would we be sending to kind of sway this, romance novelist? And everyone's kind of looking around. Connor, you start noticing eyes are settling on you.
Oh, crap. Perks of having my name and face everywhere, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sure.
So, here's a chip.
A which aspect is it for us? It's just going to cause me trouble in the long run.
Ian's desires.
Fuck, this is going to be fun. And yet, I'm still going to take it because I think it'll be more interesting, but this is going to be real fun to deal with.
Your boyfriend will not like this.
Nope. Ian never likes it, and you know what? I don't like it either. But damn it, Magnus is a prick.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
So, Ashton, you're the one who had some information about the hotel chain.
Yes.
So maybe you and Manfrey can work on that.
Does seem very logical. I approve.
Sounds like fun.
So, Ashton
Rather
and
than
Manfrey
poisoning
recon and
food.
sabotage on the hotel chain.
We just let it spoil and just like deactivate the refrigerator or something.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Rather than poison food, as he says and looks at. That was Elizabeth that suggested that, right?
Yeah.
It says we can simply do something such as break the refrigerator and cause it to spoil.
Oh yes, there's many ways to sabotage.
I didn't mean actual food. I meant demon food.
We can provide that too if you really need it, but
Okay.
So she writes by Candy Bass, Connor Honeypot.
Oh, God. I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong, but God, that still made me face fall. No worries.
The funny part is, maybe you could lie to Ian successfully, but if he asks Ashton about it, that's not going to go well.
You're gonna get a chip to do that.
Damn you, Travis. Well, I already know.
I mean, but currently you're a gullible do-gooder, so you might not realize exactly what they're asking him to do. It's
Yeah.
oh yeah, he's the famous guy.
He'll just be nice to her.
Yup.
Here's a chip for that because you're a gullible do-gooder to not instantly. Actually, no, it's a zero. It's a zero compel because you can buy it off. It's the all right. So here's the thing. You've got this one for gullible do-gooder and this one for your ally / friendship to Ian. Because one of those things means you probably need to inform Ian, and the other one is you don't know what the fuck is going on.
That's actually tough.
I mean, technically, you can take both and say, I don't know what the fuck is going on, so that when Ian finds out, I am also in hot water.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God. Chips, they are delicious. They will destroy us. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it going.
Next time.
I already know what my plans are. I better write that down in case it doesn't happen this
I
session.
thought it was a honeypot.
That's a more PG term. That's fine.
Well, honeypot is it's a type of scam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steph was saying there should have been sex pot for you, but I'm like, no, but then that's gonna tip off. Like Ashton's not that gullible. Like,
Oh, that actually makes this more fun too. Yeah.
but Connor, you know what a honeypot is.
Yup.
You're gonna sleep with the romance writer. You're gonna get a starring role in a romance.
Oh, I already know exactly. Like, I already know exactly what I'm gonna have to do. Damn it.
Wow.
Yes, but I just wrote myself a note in case I forget this session. Because it is getting later.
It's alright. I'll remember. I'll remind you guys. So then we have Annette Stein and Velda, which admittedly it's going to be Velia and what's his nuts?
Ashton.
Ouch.
Mhm.
Shit.
Yes.
So by the picture, she writes Velia next to Velda, and Ashton next to there. And we've got Manfrey, who's just doing general con work and spirit things. And so she kind of looks back and goes, I like this plan. This plan is a good beginning to it. Victor kind of goes, yes, it is. He goes, I'm also going to be making some contacts to try to get some more people of mine in the area. People I can trust. Not Red Court, but ghouls, perhaps. How does Elizabeth feel about that?
Ghouls? Really?
And Leanna goes, I know they're so brutish, but they serve their purpose well.
Unless someone else can pay them more.
Well, usually they're controlled by force of will and them being too scared of you.
That's fair. I'm just have had dealings with them in the past that were not pleasant.
No, they are servitors. Usually they take food in massive quantities of meat.
Did you hear about the terrorist attack in New Orleans about 3 years ago? The Dawn of Red Mist?
No.
That was ghouls.
Regina looks guilty. Let's not discuss things like that.
It seems like we have a lot of plans in place. Perhaps we could just save goals as a plan B if any of these don't work.
She goes, Plan B's fine. Would you be able to get it? I'm fine with not doing ghouls if you Victor Transvelia, if you are willing to talk to your boss about getting extra security from your people at my place.
It can't hurt to ask.
Nods and goes, very well. Well, then I will await your answer on that.
Perhaps, Trixie, you can provide some assistance in that area as well?
Trixie's like, I don't know. It takes a lot of my concentration to just like focus on the one place. I don't know if I can do two yet. I am
What
awesome.
do you mean?
That's fair. It was just a question.
She kind of turns to Manfrey and goes, What do you mean what? What do you mean I'm awesome? You don't know how awesome I am? You're right. He is Cecil.
No, I was
Just kind
talking
of
about.
chuckles.
Well, Trixie, I know you're awesome. I was just
Damn right.
That girl
trying
is
to
awesome.
understand what you meant by focusing on one place. Is all.
Oh, she gestures at the guys. One place. This building.
Okay.
I'm
And
head
we
of
plan
security.
to talk to spirits.
Wait, what? Is that what that weird glow is around them?
What glow around them? She looks at them and goes, she looks at Elizabeth. Said they didn't look weird.
They don't look weird.
He's
Well,
saying they have a glow.
they have this, and he describes the glow about.
Like, no, he has special eyes.
Oh, like elf eyes? Oh, is that offensive? I didn't mean to offend you, Velia. You're not like an elf, right? Okay. she goes up to Manfrey and she puts her hands like on his eyelids and like pulls them up and goes, "What do you see with your elf eyes?"
Usually the spirits are ghosts.
Oh. Okay.
And a lot of times they bug me if I ignore them.
No, properly empowered circles will keep them at bay.
Well, that's why I have my
You
house
always need to
warded.
empower your circles. What kind of an idiot doesn't empower their circles? A
One
dead
that's
idiot.
not.
Lizzie points at Manfrey.
What? I actually wasn't summoning anything. I was running a con.
Oh!
And
you need to run a better con then. I mean, at least put some blood on the circle.
Well, most targets don't know any better.
Yeah,
Wait,
but that
what do you
means
mean you're a con?
oh, so most targets don't know better. So you don't bring your A game. You're right, Cecil.
Wait, what do you mean you're a con? I want my $12 back.
What $12?
Wait, you only charged him $12?
Well, it was just like a little good luck charm, but like if it's fake, I want my money back.
No. It will keep the Mulus off you.
Okay, thanks.
Victor goes. Enough with that bullshit.
Hey, it works for me.
I mean, he said it works for him.
Yes,
You-
but
you
if
see-
he's conning you, of course he's going to tell you it works.
You see Victor start to stand up. Liara grabs his shoulder and puts him down and goes, "I would take it as a kindness if you did not taunt my husband to test whether your charms keeps the Mulus off of you."
I am sorry. I do apologize. My bad.
No, Audrey goes, accepted. And he turns to Regina. He goes, "And I apologize for the anger shown in your house." She's like, "It's understood. You did not actually strike him." So. And Shooting Hand goes, "I believe we have a plan. So I believe we can adjourn this for the evening." It was good meeting all of you.
Out of character question.
Yes.
Is the opening night party still going on?
It's probably winding down. So here's where I'm going to ask you guys a question. We could do a couple more scenes, or we could call it a little early, and then come back with all of these scene stuff happening next week.
I would prefer waiting till next week, just because it's almost 10:30 and I do need to get up in the morning.
Okay.
And I need to prep for an interview tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations.
So. Oh yeah.
Good
What'd you
luck
say
tomorrow?
What'd you say, Travis?
Also, I'm getting a bit of a headache and I am tired. So.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end this here. So that means what I need from everyone is, again, for you to post out 2 nods to people, 2 NPCs, and the reason why you're getting the nods in the game nods, and then going around and giving your vote for game MVP. It cannot be Connor this game.
Yep. To be fair, I didn't do a ton this game aside from.
You didn't do a ton this game, which is why it's good you got it last game, and now someone else will give it.
I'm the guy who hits people. This is talking, not hitting people. I'm not good at this.
I mean, you hit people with words, also.
I know. I think Trixie's gonna wind up with like 1 million nods by the end of this game.
Question about the nod.
Yes.
Is it just the NPCs we interacted with, or does it include the ones we talked about?
It's anyone. Any NPC for any reason. You're like, I liked that NPC. I like the idea of that NPC. Admittedly, that's the reason why you're also giving the reason. You could nod Magnus Coronado because I just like the look of his face. I mean, that's a little weak, you know. You could nod, oh, I want to nod Alex Price because I'm really interested in playing with him and I want him to come up. Like, this is a kind of way of saying, I like this or I'm interested in this.
That makes sense. Or you could nod Will London because he's Johnny Depp. No, I'm kidding.
Everyone's like, Trixie and Regina, Trixie and Regina, Trixie and Lucky, Richard and Liana. I'm different. My name's Travis.
I honestly was not looking at everyone else's responses that time.
It's fine. It's fine.
Travis thing to do.
Really, voting for the same or different people doesn't matter. Like, you know.
Like, I genuinely just enjoyed
Lucky's reaction to the table.
Oh god.
That was very good as well.
I thought he was gonna faint. Let's see. There are other NPCs I'm curious about. But for now.
All right. I like that. We got an A-B because you want to see more of him because we didn't give him that much definition. That's fine. I like that. So we got a Trixie because she's awesome, Regina for bringing the group together and providing information, direction, that sort of thing. Trixie because she gave Manfrey a hard time. Regina because she took charge so quickly. Trixie because Manfrey found out he used the spirits. Lucky because this whole scene with the table and his reaction to it. Richard for agreeing with me all the time. Liana for the random quips. She does have quips. Regina, I dig how organized she is. Ace Ashby because I feel we didn't give him a lot of definition. I like all this. So the crown of MVP, it's large over Connor Cash currently, but who will be the next person? So, we're going to start with this current MVP, Connor Cash. Patrick, please tell me who you would be voting for this game's MVP.
I think I'm gonna go with Elizabeth on this one.
Elizabeth, and why?
I mean, aside from coming up with some great ideas, I just genuinely enjoyed her and Regina, like, chatting. It was really... I don't know how to explain it. It's just really pleasant to watch.
All right, that's perfectly fine. All right, now we're going to go... So we got one vote for Elizabeth currently. Now we're going to go to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, who are you voting for?
I'm gonna go with Manfrey for just kind of rolling with all the punches and jabs that are thrown at him, and for his pure, like, surprise at Trixie's spirit bodyguards.
All right. So we're going to go to Manfrey now.
I'm going to have to say Elizabeth.
Why Elizabeth?
Because she also seemed to direct some of the conversations and ideas as well as, you know, the look she kept giving Manfrey occasionally.
You liked the look you were giving him. Oh my God, some people are making eyes at each other.
I think we should go for
You're
I'll only eat him a little.
no, I mean, Manfrey, your girlfriend leaves the game and you're already making eyes at someone else.
Oh, yeah, that'd be Trixie.
Oh my god. She's 9, dude. I think.
You start dating Trixie, and I'm pretty sure we're going to need to call in the werepuma.
The werepuma will make. All right, so we've got 2 for Elizabeth, 1 for Manfrey. We're gonna go with Monica. Who are you voting for and why?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, and why for Elizabeth?
Because she not only kind of led the conversation with Regina, but also seemed to have sort of the least confused point of view about what was going on.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ashton. Travis, I'm not going to say your vote doesn't matter, but who are you voting for? Because actually it does. Legitimately, it does matter who you vote for because this is your chance to say, hey, I really liked what you did there to someone. All right?
All right. Though honestly, my vote was also going to be for Elizabeth, and
Right.
largely for the reasons previously stated. I did like your suggestion regarding the poisoning the vampires and how they got misconstrued. But seriously, like yeah, good interactions, and my favorite thing was the suggestions for the high rollers.
Elizabeth, take your chip and your vaunted position as chip leader.
Ooh. Tasty, tasty chips.
As has been said in New Orleans several of times, the number of chips you has can be a very clear indication of how terrible you are as a person.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Especially if you have a low refresh rate.
Yeah.
But so far, all of my chips I have gotten through out-of-game stuff. Except for stuff that came up with Magnus.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I want to thank you all for coming. I want to apologize about slow starts and uncomfortable things happening in game, but I want to thank you all for rolling with me and for just generally being a really great group of people to stream and play with. So thank you very much. Right.
Well,
And thank you
Take
for
care,
organizing
all.
these games, everyone.
Thank
Yep,
you. And
thank you.
Thank you.
good
Thank
luck
you.
in your interview tomorrow.
Yes, good
Thanks.
luck.
Yeah, good luck.